Pattern blocks are a relatively new manipulative developed as recently as the 1960s. They are both a play resource and also a resource to aid children in the learning of mathematics. They serve as a tool to develop spatial reasoning skills that are fundamental to the learning of mathematics. Among other things, they allow children to see shapes that can be composed and decomposed into other shapes, and introduce children to the idea of tilings and tessellations. The set includes multiple copies of just 6 shapes. The first shape is the green equilateral triangle. Then we have the blue rhombus, and the blue rhombus is the same as 2 equilateral triangles. Then we have the narrow beige rhombus, which has the same side length as the green triangle. So the rhombus, each side of the beige rhombus has the same length as the green triangle. Then we have the red trapezoid, which is half a hexagon or equates to 3 green triangles. So 3 green triangles compose the red trapezoid, or it's equal to half the hexagon. Okay, so the regular yellow hexagon can be matched with 6 green equilateral triangles. So you can see the relative sizeness of each of these shapes to each other. And finally then we have the orange square, and that has the same side length as the green equilateral triangle. The shapes themselves, while they can be turned using the turn key in order to get them to line up with the sides of another shape. Okay, so if you're tessellating them, you can bring them out and then you can bring them almost into position, and then you can rotate the shape in order to get it parallel to the shape that you want to attach it to. You can cover the different shapes with different colored equilateral triangle, or the trapezoid, or the rhombus. So the blocks themselves, they were designed with possibilities for both mathematics and for play in mind. And the advice given by the original design team was that children or adults, you should take out the blocks and play with them yourself, try out some of your own ideas, then when you give the blocks to the children, sit back and watch what they do with them in a mathematical way. And when children play with the pattern blocks, I suppose one of the first things that they will actually do is begin to do some tessellation and tiling. So for example, they can pull out something like the red trapezoid, and then they can try and see what they can do with creating floor tiling using the various 6 shapes, and how they might tessellate together to form a pattern or a floor tiling, which they can then repeat. So let the children play with the pattern blocks, with the interactive pattern blocks, and at the same time then at their tables they can have the physical pattern blocks, which are available from many school suppliers. From school suppliers around the country, you can buy tubs of pattern blocks. There's usually 250 pattern blocks in a tub. Again, if you have a tub between every pairing or 3, that's very good. You can also buy packs of pattern block cards, which give the children tasks and challenges to carry out using their pattern blocks. And some of the tasks, they can be already colored in, or perhaps they might give you just black and white outlines, and sometimes they don't give you the grid lines. So the cards are graded according to the level of challenge that they contain. So for example, this one here is like the tent, and again they can experiment in filling in a large equilateral triangle with various combinations of pattern blocks. So in your school, get yourselves the cards and the challenges and tasks along with the tubs and drums of pattern blocks, and set up a kit for tiling patterns and tessellations. But also then you'll be looking at the equivalences when it comes to fractions. For example, 2 reds will cover the yellow hexagon, so 1 red is half of a yellow, etc. So do yourself pattern blocks kit for the school. So combining your interactive virtual pattern blocks manipulatives, using those up on the interactive whiteboard, in tandem with the children using their own 6 pattern blocks, the tub of pattern blocks down at the table. There is a number of activities that you can do within the realm of shape and space with the children, and we will look at some of those now.